Alright, so I wanted to do a little video this morning. I know I always struggled with this, especially when I was younger. I'm sure still a lot of people who do. And I want to show you a super cool and easy way to keep your live bait for like weeks. So what I do is I go, where I live in Pennsylvania, I go to little creeks and stuff around in the mountains and around my area. Like not big rivers, little creeks, and I fish for creek chubs, creek minnows, like that. 2 to 4 inches. And I'll show you real quick. I'll show you my setup that I use. It's just an ultralight action cheap rod. You want to use cheap rod when you're down there playing in them creek banks and you're slipping and sliding all over the mud. Cheap rod right here, cheap rod. I actually found this rod down in North Carolina. It was sitting along an earthen dam, and somebody just left it behind, so I grabbed it. Sat there for an hour, nobody come back to claim it. Anyway, cheap ass rod, like a size, like you're almost like you're rigging up for trout or panfish or something, like a size 10, 12 Daiichi, small barrel swivel, super small barrel swivel, little split shot, and then I use frog's hair. Frog's hair is the shit, man. So 052 or the .012, like the super fine stuff. I mean, this stuff here, the water was muddy yesterday because we had a lot of rain, so I'm usually a little bit thicker, but also it's a blast. So I mean, and when you go out, that's all you need to carry with you. It's great in a bucket with your bubbler, and like a little container of wax worms. And it's fun too. You take the kid out to do it. The kid's a lot. I take my daughter, but I'm taking her since she was a little kid to go out. We'll spend a day or two before we go fishing, the day before we go out on our trip, and we'll catch a bunch of these really nice creek chubs. I mean, check them out. That's good bait, man. We've got a lot of walleye and northern pike and big ass catfish around here, especially in the rivers. So these are killer. Lake trout too. If I got to Raystown, which is only about an hour and 45-minute, 2-hour ride from here, the striped bass and the lake trout, they love these. Catch some big lake trout, 30-pounders. Anywho, so as well as I do, keeping them in a bucket like this, the water gets gross. Say you don't go and you end up having all these fish, they end up dying. Your batteries are expensive in the bubblers, blah blah blah. So what I do is I keep a fish tank. This bubble tank. This is a 55-gallon with an under gravel filter in it. And then what you do is you get a smaller bucket or a cup or something like that, and you get all the nasty, because this morning this water was like chocolate milk. Overnight the water went from this clear, 8 hours later, to looking like chocolate milk. So I scoop it all out, so there's only like an inch in the bottom of this bucket. I get all that water and I pour it in here. All right, and it's actually doing this whole tank a favor. Not a lot of people even get it. I even understand that under gravel filters are where it's at. And back in the day, that's how all aquariums and stuff were set up. That's how everybody did it. That was the best way to do it. Those stupid little filters that hang on the back of your tanks now, them are garbage. Them things, that's a temporary thing that you use on like a smaller tank or a feeder tank or something. A tank that you're not going to have sitting for years. You don't ever use them little gay little things in the back here. Those little black filters that hang on the back, and they cost you hundreds of dollars for a 20 to 50-gallon tank. No. What you do is you build yourself one of these under gravel filter. So there's a big plastic mesh that sits right there, and then you put your medium, your gravel over there, and then you let this tank sit for 2 or 3 weeks. And then what you do is you catch your minnows, you get all that nasty poop water, and all that, you let it get gross and nasty in there, get that out, and you dump it in here, and that establishes a layer of bacteria in there. All right, and that bacteria will feed on all that fish poop, that high sulfur content and the water, all the nutrients and stuff that's in that. This is actually a living organism in here, and it feeds on that, okay? But then, when you want to fill your minnow bucket back up, right here where your pump's at, You just come up and fill your bucket with that crystal clear water. This water was murky as hell about 30 minutes ago. Look how clean that is. And I never have to mess with this. Besides maybe add, a couple gallons every 3 or 4 weeks because of the evaporation. I never have to mess with this tank. In the wintertime, I do a lot of steelhead fishing up Erie. I'll put 200 minnows in this. So that way when I want to go fishing, I can leave at, midnight, 11 o'clock in the morning, or 11 o'clock at night, midnight, 1 a.m. It's a 3-hour ride. I come down here, I scoop out 2 dozen minnows, put them in my bucket with some ice in my bubbler, throw it in my car, and I just go fishing. I don't have to stop at the bait shop at all. It's great. And if I don't use them all, I don't have to dump them in the creek. That's bad. You usually don't want to do that. You're not supposed to do that. Anytime you catch fish somewhere and you go fishing somewhere with them, or you buy them from the bait shop, you should never dump them in the water where you're at. That's real bad. That's how species get spread around, and you end up with invasive species and stuff like that. You should never do that. So I bring them home, put them back in my tank. It's great. I mean, we put some crayfish in here. They clean the bottom up. You get any dead fish or anything, I'm telling you, where it's at. Find yourself an old fish tank, build yourself an under gravel filter, watch a YouTube video on it, and I'm telling you, you'll love yourself for it, especially if you do a lot of bait fishing. One other quick thing I want to show people. Anybody out there who's got a boat, like a little drawn boat or canoe or something, you buy these at Walmart. Alright? These lights, you can clip them on your bicycle and shit. I clip them on my bow mount trolling motor. Oh, that one's still got the pull tab in it, but you get the idea. So I put one on one side of the trolling motor and the green one on the other side of the trolling motor on my bow mount, and I get one of these. And on the handle on my outboard, the tiller handle, I get one of these and put them on each side of the tiller handle, flip the tiller handle up. That way at night, I can fish all night if I want. You don't have to run, you know what I mean? Especially, I got a small John boat. These are awesome for that. Yeah, that's the way to go. What else? And then while I'm doing this video, I want to ask somebody. I had this Fenwick rod. This Fenwick. I love Fenwicks. Fenwicks are awesome rods. I'm a big Fenwick fan. Fenwick and St. Croix fan. Although the last couple years I've been having some seriously bad luck with rods. This rod here I've had since I was, I don't know, probably in my early 20s. We were down in the river. My kid hooked into a fish that was way too big for it. Look at that. I was heartbroken. Back in the day, this was a $120 rod. I'm curious what it costs now, 6.5 foot. So I'm curious, if I mail that into Fenwick, will they replace it? I know they used to. I've sent them several rods over the years, and they replaced it. I thought about getting a St. Croix blank and just fixing it myself, because I like that handle, that cork. That's nice. Yeah, so, and another thing, too, I'll share. So, like I say, trout rods and light action rods, a lot of spin casting rods. I buy a lot of Fenwicks and a lot of St. Croix, like this rod here. This is my 10.5 foot, I do believe. Medium light action noodle rod, one of my noodle rods. Let's see, I got another St. Croix, basically the same rod, just a 9-footer. And then there's another Fenwick up there. That's a 11.5 foot. So rods are expensive, and I've been breaking them like crazy. So at Walmart, I've been picking these up by Shimano, whatever you pronounce that. And these Shimano FX reels, they're like $15. This rod, 7.5 foot, medium action, pretty stiff rod, good for flipping lures and stuff. $19.97. The whole setup is under $40. And me and the kid, we've been using them for like the last 2 years. They're great rods. And they're not glass-eyed or anything. They're aluminum-eyed. They're nice. They're actually nice rods. And then on a little bit more expensive side, I've been buying this brand too. I'm trying to hurry and get this video cut off here. Where is it? Oh, this one right here. So this is my 11.5 foot or 12 foot, my Riverside. Because when you're fishing the steelhead and stuff and salmon and trout, I mean, you're smacking that rod hard, and sometimes when you break a rod like this that's $350, that's devastating, man. That ruins your whole trip. This rod here is $45. Super light action. I mean, this rod's going on 3 years old. I haven't had a single problem with it. Actually, you know what I mean? Like, this rod, I haven't used this rod in 2 years because I'm just so afraid to break the damn thing. It's going on 15 years old. That was the first St. Croix noodle rod I ever bought. I spent $350 at Gander Mountain on it when Gander Mountain was still open back in like 2014, 13, I think. I think I was like 25, 26 years old when I bought that. That was a big purchase for me back then. Here's another one right here. Riverside. That's a 10-foot, I do believe. Yeah, 10-footer. I will say though, so I bought this one. I wasn't really looking at the handle when I bought it. I love cork. Cork is where it's at. But this is it's like fiber, like carbon fiber. I actually think it's actual carbon fiber too. But in the wintertime when you're up here and it's 20 degrees, holding onto this handle sucks. Like with the cork, when you hold it long enough, it kind of like warms your hand. This, your hand freezes, man. I did not think of that, so I let my little brother use that one. Whenever he goes with me. So, yeah. Yeah. When it comes to buying rods, they get pricey, boy. I bought this little St. Croix right here. This is like, I always wanted a super light, ultralight St. Croix rod. What is that? 5 foot, 5.5 foot, 6 foot? $220 for this little fucker. You believe that? I'm afraid to use it. I'm afraid to use it. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the fish tank thing. Yeah. If anybody let me know about the Fenwicks, if they still do the rod replacement, I'd love to know about that. Get yourself an old fish tank. Get on Facebook Marketplace and build yourself a stand out of some 2x8s and some cinder blocks, and watch a quick YouTube video, build yourself an under gravel filter, get yourself you don't even have to go to the pet store and buy anything expensive. You can just use like gravel, peat gravel. Get a 50 pound bag of peat gravel, put that down, and yeah, you could have yourself a minnow tank. And I mean, I'm telling you, man, it saves me so much time, and it's real nice, especially if you're doing a lot of fishing. It's worth it.